Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. So we all love a good, relaxing, calm vacation, right? Well, how about to Jamaica? Well, in these videos, we take a look at travelers who went to Jamaica, thought they were going to have a relaxing, fun vacation, but it was anything of that. Their vacations became a complete disaster. Let's take a look.
My friend snuck off the resort in Jamaica to meet up with a guy. Male-centered women are dangerous, okay? And this is the same girl from my last story time where I talked about how she came to visit me in Miami and then linked up with a dude that she knew there, and I'd never seen her for the rest of the trip. She came to see me in Miami, but ditched me for a guy, okay? Crazy story. So this was my birthday trip to Jamaica, okay? And let me preface this. We gotta go back. Okay, so we had went to Houston for my sister's birthday earlier in the year, right? And during that trip, so we all were, after the trip, we all got to the airport. We all were flying to different places. Me to Miami, my sister to Jacksonville, another girl to Chicago. Like, we all were going to different places. This girl was going to Georgia. But her flight got canceled because we all had morning flights. She had an afternoon flight. Her flight got canceled because the weather ended up getting really bad. And she had to stay for another day. Well, she met a man in the airport while having drinks. And instead of going home, she flew back to the West Coast with him. And that was a whole different story, whatever the case. But before we went to Jamaica, I was like, listen, girl, that activity, we cannot do that on my birthday trip. We are going out the country. So if you meet a dude that you think is cute, that's fine. But all of this going with a man, we're not doing that in a different country, okay? So it was 4 of us who went to Jamaica: me, my friend, my sister, and her friend. So on the second day, we're on the beach, and y'all know with the resorts in Jamaica, they have private beaches. Well, these guys pulled up to the beach on Jamaica, at the resort we were staying at, on jet skis, and they were like, hey, do y'all want to ride jet skis? How much it is? And so we were like, yeah, we're gonna ride jet skis. So we end up going with these dudes to go ride the jet ski place, and riding the jet skis. She took a liking to one of the guys who was like working or whatever. I guess it was his company. She took a liking to him, and they exchanged numbers. Okay, that's fine. But now everything is now changing to how she can see him again. Like, this is my birthday trip, okay? I don't care about this Negro. Like, we're not about to change anything so that you can link up with him. So that night we're going out, and she was like, oh, he told me about this club. Let's go here. He said he'll come get us. No. We're like, we can meet him there, but no, we're not gonna go with him in the car. We don't know this man. So whatever the case, we go to have like the lunch at lunch in the little buffet or whatever. Me and my sister end up going back to the room because my sister forgot something or whatever. And then her and the other girl stayed at the buffet. Now, this other girl doesn't know her. She does not know what she did in Houston. So she don't know the girl is like that. Well, apparently, according to this girl, she pretended like, she was going to get more food, like getting up to go get more food, and she left. She left with the dude. Now, it's one thing if you were just like, I'm grown, I'm gonna do what I want, I don't care that y'all don't like it, but don't sneak and do nothing, and we're here together, and if something happens to you, we don't know where you're at, we're in a different country, you don't have your passport, we got it. Like, that's just not safe. And again, this is my trip. Why are you trying to change everything, like, to be around a dude, like, that you don't even know? So I'm irritated, whatever. We end up, she comes back or whatever, she's like, oh, we just run around and smoke, don't be mad at me, you're dumb. So I ain't mad that you're dumb, I'm mad that you're doing this dumb shit on my birthday trip, where we're supposed to stay together. If something happens to you, they're gonna say, why did y'all let her go by herself? Like, that's the problem. So we end up going out that night. The guys came or whatever. Did not ride in the car with them, but whatever. The next day, she tries to pull the same stunt, but I'm on to you. So we had got up, had breakfast, and we were at like the little swim up bar. Y'all, we was towed up by freaking noon, okay? We were towed up, cutting up in the people resort, right? She texts a guy and tells him to come get her, but he's doing his work on the jet ski. So he pulls up on a jet ski to come get her. No sir, no sir. So she's drunk with this dude, and I really don't want you to do it because you're drunk and you're gonna be in the water, like. And so this guy had already told us like that he had a baby in the United States, that he goes back and forth. So this man has his papers. So I'm like, I cannot reason with her because she's drunk. So I tell the dude, I'm like, you really want to have some drunk girl on the back of your jet ski? If anything happens, that falls back on you. You have a successful business, you can come to him from the United States. Like, do you really want to like jeopardize your future just to get some coochie from this drunk girl? Like, think about it. And he was like, yeah, you're right, and he left. Thank you that man had sense. I don't think that he was a bad guy. I don't even think that he was pursuing her. I think that she was pursuing him more than anything. Like, I don't think that he was trying to force her to come with him or anything like that. I think that she was begging him like, come get me. So she didn't end up seeing him that night, and like I said, we had got towed up that whole day. We didn't end up going out that night, and then we left the next day, right? So my sister, so I was flying to Miami, they were flying into Orlando and then driving back to like Jacksonville or whatever. So she was riding with them, and my sister literally told me the whole ride, all she was talking about was how bad that she felt, that she fell asleep and she didn't get to see him before she left, and like, you know, she was supposed to see him, she was supposed to text him so they can hang out. And I'm just like, girl, this man sells jet skis. He sees women all freaking day. This man is not like, it seems like you are more interested in him than him you. Like, you just met him and you're sitting in the car like upset that you didn't get to see him one more time. Like, be so serious. And like, why are you even, this was a girl's trip for my birthday, right? So I kind of fell back off of the girl after that because there was, you know, a little other situation regarding money, which I don't beef over money. Like, that's just never gonna happen. I had my funds, you didn't. So I fell back off of her. We didn't talk for like a couple months after the trip, but then she hit me up. She was like, oh, do you want to come to Atlanta for my birthday, blah blah blah. And so I was like, you know what, she came to my birthday, I'm gonna go to hers. Big mistake, big freaking mistake. So I get my flight to Atlanta. She lives like 45 minutes away from the airport. I tell her, this time I'm landing, are you gonna be able to come get me? She's like, yes, that's cool. The day of the flight, I'm like at the airport or whatever. She was like, yeah, I'm just getting my nails done before, you know, I have to come get you. And I'm like, okay, cool. Then I tell her, I'm like, actually the flight is delayed 30 minutes. We're gonna be about 30 minutes late. So, you know, take your time or whatever on, you know, getting your nails done. Don't rush to the airport, right? She's like, okay, cool. Y'all, so before we took off, like as we were taking off, I was like, hey, we're on the runway, we're taking off, the flight's only an hour, just to let you know, right? And she's like, okay, cool, I will be there. Why is it that when I landed in Atlanta and I'm on Frontier, I ain't got no Wi-Fi. When I put my phone back off of airplane mode and I landed in Atlanta, I have a text message from this girl. She knew that a guy I used to talk to had moved to Atlanta. She texted me literally 10 minutes after I told her we were taking off. She waited until I was up in the sky with no service to say, can you ask that nigga to come get you from the airport? Can you ask that nigga to come get you from the airport because I'm trying to get some tree? Girl, be so serious. And I knew in my head, I'm like, if I was a nigga coming to see her, she would have been at that airport an hour freaking early. And you purposely waited until you knew that I did not have service to text me and say that you was not going to come get me after we just had a whole discussion about you coming to get me. Really?
Ladies and gentlemen, please be careful. 3 weeks ago I traveled to Jamaica, did an excursion with my friends, and broke my foot. While climbing up the waterfall at Ocho Rios, I was being very careful, watching my each step because it's very slippery. What I wasn't paying attention to was my surroundings. I should have been very far from anyone that was climbing, but I was about 1 foot away, maybe 2 feet away under another climber. This individual slipped, crashed into my foot, and only my foot, so could have possibly held on for my dear life, but the pain was so impactful that I just let go and I braced myself for impact. I fell about 10 feet, and thankfully it was at a slant, so it was not like 10 feet jumping out the window. As I slid down, I hit a few rocks, and yeah. When I finally fell into the water, there was a crowd around me, and as my body floats to the top of the water, I'm preparing to cry like a baby because my foot is in so much pain. And at this point, that was the most pain I've ever experienced in my life. And I have a child. As I open my eyes, I see a crowd of people surrounding me with cameras, you know, just asking me like if I'm okay. And I'm just telling them like, no, I'm not okay. And from there, I just close my eyes because I'm waiting on EMT. So about 5 minutes pass, and I still hear like, you know, the same crowd of people around me. My friends that were climbing up are now like asking me like to stand up, and I'm like, I can't stand up. I open my eyes and I'm like, where is the help? Like, there's no way I'm climbing out the rest of the waterfall. Like, my foot is broken. Or at that time I didn't think it was broken. I'm like, I'm in too much pain. No one came to get me. Like, that didn't even exist. Like, there was no one coming to get me in a stretcher or carrying me out. So after about 30 minutes of my friends just convincing me to get up, I finally like tried to lift my foot, it's my right foot, out the water, and literally my foot was like an electrical device that got water in it. I lifted it up off the water and it started like glitching. And I was like, oh my gosh, something is wrong. Like, yeah, I gave myself another 10 minutes and I was like, okay, I'm in pain, but the pain at this point is radiating. I began to find my way out of the waterfall. I'm sliding my butt through. People are like kind of helping me out, but not really, because they can't. The waterfall is so slippery that you have to be able to hold up yourself. Like, no one could hold you up or they'll probably fall. Well, it took about 10 minutes for me to get to the point where it's just ground. And once I got to that point, a bigger crowd came and people were like, oh my gosh, I seen the whole incident happen. And while this lady's talking to me, she's like recording me. Low-key, I would not be upset if you have the video of me falling at Dunn's River early September.
Turn left on Tillery Street.
I want to see it. At that point, I'm in pain, but not so much. And if you have been to Dunn's River before, the waterfall is about a 10 to 15 minute walk away from the exits. So I just embraced myself for that. I began to walk. I felt drunk, very hot, very sick to my stomach. I couldn't keep my head up. And although my friends at this point are helping me, I'm like, just let go of me. Like, I was ready to lay on the floor because that's all I felt that I could do. A bunch of men came, like, you know, they're passing me by. And they're like, oh, let me help you, let me help you. I'm 5'10". Unless you're taller than me, there's no way I'm allowing you to pick me up at all. No offense to my short kings, but no. After standing there for like 10 minutes, this tall God-sent man comes. I can't see him at this point because my head is down, but like just his presence of him saying like, okay, I'm gonna help you. I'm like, I think this man is tall. So I look over, I'm like, okay. As he prepares himself to pick me up, I look at him and I just look at the ground. No offense to this man, but he was probably like 6'4", 100 pounds. Yeah. I'm 5'10", 160 pounds. So that man carrying me, he was squeezing me. So my foot was hurting me, and he was hurting me from holding me because he was just like holding me with all his might. But long and short, he got me out of there. Let me know if you guys
Story time. Boys went to Jamaica and got all their shit stolen out of their fucking resort room. So me and my homie Bobby, we booked a trip to Jamaica for June 8th all the way to June 13th. We booked for Aruba Star Rose Hall Beach. So it was almost a damn near a 5-star resort, right? So, you know, shit was already fucked up once we first got there. You get to the resort, you drop your bag off at the front. They say, oh yeah, we'll take your bag to the room once it gets ready. So we go grab a drink. And now we go into the room, you know what I'm saying? Look at our bags and shit, grab some clothes, whatever we need. I look at my fucking bag. I'm missing 4 fucking watches. Yeah, I'm that motherfucker that's gonna travel with 4 watches. But I'm thinking like, man, maybe TSA grabbed them hoes. But I know I packed 4 fucking watches, bro. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm not gonna put on the resort. Fuck it, let's just have a good time. And so I never do this, but I took all my clothes out, put it in the dresser. I put my belongings in a little safe that's in the closet. Shit, we gonna be there for 5 days. Shit, you know, I'm gonna sit back and relax and put my shit up. Worst fucking mistake I ever fucking did, and I never fucking do that shit. And so there was a sister resort next to us, and they had a club over there. So we went over there, had a few drinks, and before we left, I put, you know, like my camera, wallet, cash, one of my bracelets, passport, headphones, pretty much all my valuables in that safe that's in the closet. So we get back to the room. It's like 2 a.m. We talking on the phone and shit. We go to bed, right? So my homie Bobby, he wakes up. It's like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. He's kind of mumbling. He's like, oh, I can't find my phone. You know, you wake up, you start feeling for your phone and shit. So I start doing the same, you know. I can't find mine either. So I get up and I start doing this with the blanket. Hopefully it's gonna fall on the ground. It fucking doesn't. So then I look over to the left and the safe is open. So I look at him and I'm like, hey, bro, I think somebody was up in here while we was asleep and stole our shit. But I'm saying that as a joke. I go over to that safe. The only thing that's in there is my fucking passport and my headphones. So then I'm like, let me go to the bathroom. Splash some water on my face. Nigga, they stole my cologne too. They stole my cologne and my fucking lotion. You sick bastard mother. So at this point, she be like, God damn, we in Jamaica with no phone, bruh. And we just got to this motherfucker. So at that point, we just like, man, we fucking leaving. Ain't no point in staying here. So it's just the fact that somebody came up in there, broke into our shit while we was asleep, and stole all our shit. I promise you, I am not going back to Jamaica. Because they just shiesty out there. Motherfuckers is
Do not go to Montego Bay, Jamaica. Story time on how they held me hostage for 8 hours. Alright guys, so I went down to Jamaica for a convention that I was filming. And so I like to carry my camera stuff in a Pelican case. Not thinking none of it. Now, I should have known that something was going to happen because the day was going too good. And I get on my plane. I get into Montego Bay. I get to Club Mo Bay, my little lady with my little name, you know what I'm saying? And we went to the little kiosk to scan the passport, and it said, see agent. Now, this don't got nothing to do with the story, but the point I'm making is that's when things started to go south. So I go see the agent. She asked me a bunch of questions, and she gave me my passport back. So then we go, and we get my luggage. I'm like, I'm not bringing in no animals or nothing, so I don't need to declare nothing. So I go all the way to the left to the no declare line. I give him my passport. He gives it back. I walk past him so I can go to Club Mo Bay and get me a drink. And he stops me and he's like, what's in the case? So me thinking like I ain't carrying, no pew. So I'm like, it's cameras. He said, oh, I'm gonna need you to go down there. And I'm like, down where? And he like through the scanner. I'm like, oh, okay, bet. Y'all just want to make sure I ain't got no piums. So, all right, cool. Let's go to the scanner because the drink and the meat pies are waiting on your girl. So I get down there. I was like, hey, yeah, that officer told me to come here. And she was like, for what? I was like, I don't know. He saw my case and told me to come here. She's like, what's in the case? I was like, cameras. She was like, oh. I'm like, what is? Oh. So now I'm getting scared. So then she calls the supervisor. Supervisor comes, like, what's up? And she points to me. And he was like, what you got? I was like, my cameras. He was like, oh. Now I'm like, what's all this? Oh. Like, it's just cameras. So he starts like doing like one of these, like, oh my God, like not today. I'm like really confused at this point because it's just cameras. So then he pulled me to the back and he's like, why do you have cameras? And I'm like, because I'm filming an event. He was like, in Jamaica? I wanted to be like, bro, I'm here, Jamaica. But I kept it cool. And I'm like, yes, it's an event. And he's like, you got proof? I'm like, I got a contract that say that I'm supposed to be here. I got my hotel information. Like, I'm confused. And he was like, see, the thing is, you got film equipment. You about to come film something. I'm like, duh. And then he was like, so we need to make sure you have X, Y, and Z. And I said, hold on, bro. You need to talk to the boss lady. She'll be here in 30 minutes. I'll let her know you're here. He was like, all right, well, you're going to have to stay right here until she gets here. I said, well, can I go to the bathroom? He said, no. I said, all right, well, let me text them, let them know where I'm at. The lady turns around. She was like, you can't use your phone. I'm like, well, how am I going to let them know I'm here? Shorty shrugged her shoulders. So now I'm getting pissed. But I'm staying calm because y'all not about to lock me up in another country. So I stand there. She turns back around. You can't sit here. And I'm like, all right, so do I go back to baggage claim? She said, no, you can't. Once you're here, you can't go back in. So I'm like, ma'am, where do you expect me to go? So then she looks around and then she points to a corner. So me and my Club Mo Bay lady goes to the corner and sits there. I'm texting the people who I was waiting on. They're in the air. There's nothing they can do for me right now, but I have to look busy because they're wanting this information. Bro, 30 minutes go by, I don't hear nothing. The supervisor come back over, asking questions like, so what's this event? Where is it at? Okay. Where's their plane? You said 30 minutes. I said, I know. They told me 12:45, bro. That's all I got. So time goes by some more. By this time, it's like an hour. I'm texting my sister, said, do you know if they had a direct flight? Like, I need info because these people they about to lock me up. So then about another 30 minutes go by. My Club Mobile lady, she was like, do you even know what they look like? What do you mean, do I know what they look like? So I'm like, yes, I know what they look like. They're coming. So the supervisor comes back and was like, well, since you said she's coming, does she have X, Y, and Z? I'm like, sir, I don't know what she got. She hired me. I can't be in her business like that. It's illegal. And so he left me alone. I finally got the information. The flight was delayed. So then he come back and he was like, the only flight coming from where you said they come from is delayed. I said, yes, sir. I know. So then like maybe another hour goes by and they finally get my message. They text me. They said, we're on our way. I'm like thankful. I'm about to pee on myself first off. So they said they on their way. So like now I'm so happy. Like I gotta pee. Like I'm hungry. I finally see him. I'm like excited. And the security guard, that's a security guard. The officer is like, telling me like, chill. You're not going over there. She needs to have what she needs to have. So they come talk to him. He tell them what they need and then tell them where they need to go. So now I'm still here with my backpack with my camera and my carrying case with my camera. And my Club Mobile lady has my suitcase with my clothes and stuff. So then the people that I was waiting on told me to come with them. And I asked the officer, like, can I take my bags? He said, no, your suitcase got to stay here. So I take all my camera stuff and I go do what I got to do. We were over here for another 5 hours. And we're talking to people. And they're telling us to email some people. The email's kicking back. We don't know an email. The people I was with knew somebody that knew somebody higher up. And once we told them that we contacted them, all of a sudden they had a phone number for these people that they had us emailing. In the midst of all that, if we don't get the paperwork that you need, what's worst case scenario? She said, where you're going to have to pay $7,000 to bring your camera gear in. Pure extortion. So we that's a dub. I'll go back home for $7,000. So we did a lot of messaging back and forth. Then the guy who we really needed to get us out of this, I think it's a broker, a customs broker. He's like, yeah, we're not releasing your camera gear until you do X, Y, and Z. We're like, bro, you got my panties. I have my camera gear. And he was all like, how? You're not supposed to have your camera gear. We confiscated it. Trying to be upset. I don't know what I'm talking about. Bro, I'm looking at my camera gear. So long story short with that, they lost me. The person who gave me up wasn't supposed to give me up. I was supposed to stay back there in their custody until the paperwork was done. So when it was all said and done, they finally gave me my drawers back. Had to sign a bunch of paperwork. And by then we was there for 8 hours. So then on the way back, let me add another hour to that. So I was hostage for 9 hours. I had to go to customs and a guy had to escort me all the way to my gate and sit with me until I left the country. So the moral of it all, if you are taking camera equipment, professional camera equipment, and it's in a hard case, don't. They're going to think that you're profiting money off their island. So they require you to sign a bunch of paperwork, and they also have to make sure that you are taking away what you bring. So their thought process is that 1, you're going to make money off this island, meaning 2, I guess you could say, you're trying to sell camera equipment and make money and not pay taxes on it. So that was it. That was the moral of the story. But they didn't have to hold me hostage like that.
So I'm about to give y'all a story time on the time I went to Jamaica for Christmas. Disclaimer, I did not want to do a story time on this, but I know summer is coming up and all my girlies and my boys are going on vacation, and I think that it's important for me to share my story now. this is just my story. I'm in no way, form, or fashion talking about down on this particular hotel or anything. I'm just saying my experience. So let's get into it. I took a vacation to Montego Bay, Jamaica, December 26th through the 29th of last year, just past 2024. It was me, my husband, my sister, and my brother-in-law. Now, they went on the 25th, which is a day before us. So they went actually on Christmas. We stayed with our kids and went the day after, right? So they arrived the day before. And when we got there, so we did a 3-night stay, right? And we booked a Ocean View Junior Suite. And the hotel is called the Raoul Palace, in Montego Bay. When we arrived, my sister was telling us that she was trying to reserve us some reservations with her because they already had booked their reservations when they came the day before us, and she wanted us to have dinner with her on her day. So she tried to book our dinner reservations before we got there. Mind you, we already had the room. We already booked, so they did not let her reserve our food, which these are the specialty restaurants that they have on the resort, like the Italian restaurant or the seafood restaurant one day. This is apart from the buffet. They told her no. So when we got there and we tried to reserve the restaurants, they were booked. So we had to eat buffet food all the time, while we were there, and unfortunately we got sick like the last day, eating just the buffet food. We did not get the specialty food, which I am a big foodie. So when I book a trip, I want to eat. I mean, it's all inclusive. So why I'm like, I know it was booked, and probably because it was Christmas time, but we just got there. So why my sister couldn't book us reservations? That's beside the point. So when we got there, they were kind of like, kind of reserved. I'm like, what's going on? Like, I could tell something was off, but we were still trying to turn up and have fun because that was our first day there, and we about to turn up and get it in. So we're tired. We go take our nap first because we had traveled all that time, and then there was some stuff with the plane and some delays and all of that, but that's another story for a different day. So we were tired of traveling, so we was like, let's just take a nap first and then we're gonna go out. It was nighttime. As we were getting dressed, there was something that ran across our floor. I'm thinking, okay, well, it's probably some ants or something. Baby, when I looked down, it was a whole roach. You hear me? A big one. And then here come the little one. So it wasn't just one roach. It was another one. I think in total we saw like 3 roaches on the floor. Did y'all see that? That's what we saw. Yep. So I gotta make this quick because I only got 10 minutes. Y'all, when I tell y'all I wanted to go home that day and we had just got there, I wanted to go home. I was so uncomfortable in that room. And that room, it was not up to date at all. I'm thinking we booked the junior suite, Ocean View. We about to get a nice little room. No, baby, when we got there, that room looked ran down. Like it was not up to date. It was not, it didn't feel like I was on a vacation. No. The refrigerator was stained. Like they didn't even wash it out. It was cracked glass in the shower. Like it was wood chip was chipped off like the dressers, and it was just old looking and just whatever. We told my sister, like, oh my God, it's a freaking roach in here, and she was like, yeah, we didn't want to tell you because we didn't want you to be scared away, but we had roaches in our room too when we got here. And yeah, they on the other hand, they called down to the desk and they were moved. They were moved to a whole different room, and you know, and but when they got to their new room, it still was roaches in there. So well, I did not want to go through this, y'all. I did not even want to sleep in that room, you know. So I just was like, okay, let me get dressed, go out, drink, and just worry about this later. So we got back to the hotel. I slept with like one eye open. I was very uncomfortable, very uneasy. I knew that it was nothing else to be done, because if they would have moved us to a whole nother room, then it would still be roaches in there. So I didn't even want to go through all that unpacking and whatever to go to another room that had roaches as well. I was like, okay, it's only 3 days. Let's just thug it out and we'll complain about it when we get back home. We booked through AAA, and they booked through Delta Vacations. That's the flight we took. I emailed her as soon as we touched down. As soon as we touched down. Yeah. And so she reached out to Delta Vacations. All they said was, we give our sincere apology. We're going to reach out to the hotel manager and see what we can do for them. Basically, when they got back to the hotel management, the hotel said they're sorry, but they're not giving any compensation out. They are aware of it, but they cannot do anything about it because it's a tropical area, so they cannot use any pesticides or anything like that. So it's nothing that can be done. I'm sorry. Really? Okay. So what Delta Vacations got for me then? I'm thinking, okay, I'm about to get at least a couple $1,000 back. A free flight, free maybe hotel night stay for a couple days, something. Baby, y'all know what they offered? A $250 gift certificate per person. So me and my husband only got $250 a piece to use towards a vacation. Y'all, that's like a slap in the face. Okay, y'all hear me? My sister, on the other hand, is trying to dispute it with the credit card company. I don't know how that went. I'm not sure if they're gonna get anything, but like, y'all really playing on my top like that? Y'all, the hotel was very the hotel staff was very nice, very friendly. The hospitality was good. It's always a time when I go to Jamaica, they always greet us and all of that. So I'm not gonna say that. I did have fun, but that hotel, y'all could do what y'all want to do. Y'all could book there if y'all want to. I just wanted to let y'all know that y'all may have some roaches in the room when y'all go, okay? No shade. I'm just letting you know what happened to me and my experience. My cousin was about to book there, and she was mad at me that I didn't give her a story time about what happened. So she was mad at me, like, why you ain't tell me? So she actually called and canceled her reservations there. So I'm sorry, but you do what you please. This is just me, and yeah, that was my experience of going to Jamaica 2024. I love y'all. I hope y'all have a great summer, and I hope y'all have a bomb vacation when y'all go.
Okay, y'all, so we watched these videos of these travelers explaining their vacation from hell to Jamaica. So after watching these videos, I want to know, would you still travel to Jamaica? Share your thoughts in the comments. And as always, please like and subscribe. And thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.